bestie.
Hello. It's a new week in
Oh,
the Boy from Material
it's
podcast.
a new week in the Boyfriend Material podcast, and I've been trying to get Emily to watch this show for I would say years, but this show has not been out for years since the moment it came out. Because this is like the one show I watched, and I was like, this is Emily shit. Was I
No,
correct?
yeah, Gaby, like the first time she mentioned about like the existence of this show, she's like, "You're gonna relate so much. You like this is you. This is your universe. Like what what you have experienced." And I was like, "Sure, yeah." And then the minute I saw the pilot, I was hooked. I was relating. I was crying. I was laughing. I was loving. Like this is the show that everybody should watch. Yeah.
It's so wholesome. It's like one of the only other show that I can honestly think of right now like this you can watch like with your family and it's not gonna be weird ever is Modern Family.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Like it's so wholesome and so funny the entire time.
And I mean, Modern Family. Like my whole family loves it. Even my
Yeah.
dad, which he hates like watching movies and shows. He's like, that's garbage. Boomer
I
stuff.
love Modern Family, but I'm still pissed off that Haley did not end up with the
With
man.
this with the Manny, yeah, I don't remember the actor's name.
Have I told you my conspiracy theory about this?
No,
Okay, my theory is that he got really famous and then ABC couldn't afford him.
I don't know the timeline of his career. I don't know if he did Pitch Perfect. He was in
He
Pitch
did Pitch
Perfect, right?
Perfect.
Was it before or
I
after
think he
Modern
did Pitch Perfect
During?
during the Modern Family situation, and then all the other movies started coming out. The one with him and Zac Efron, and then the
Yeah,
Netflix special, and then like
because
his career just kept on like growing, and they had already sent him to like whatever town to.
like we used to watch Modern Family. Remember, like when we met each other.
Yeah,
Like,
it was still on.
yeah, I was like watching constantly, like, and season after season, like they were coming out, right?
Mhm.
And I remember in between whichever season, I think like the Haley and the Manny,
I love that we
like
forgot his name.
the storyline was starting to like develop, and
Mhm.
I left off. I stopped watching Modern Family because Netflix was not, was not caught on with the seasons. They would like upload them super late, and years went by, and I literally watched it like from the start in the pandemic and finished it. Like I hadn't like it had the show had ended for like a year ish, or maybe just before the
A little over a year.
I think they had just wrapped up the last
Yeah,
season, and I rewatched the whole thing during the pandemic, and then
Andy. That was the characters. Adam
um,
Devine's name was Andy.
I hated Dylan. I hated Dylan.
I
He held.
hated Dylan till the
I
last second.
Yeah, but
No.
like, well, overall the show, my family, even my dad, enjoys it so much because of Jay, because he was famous back in the day with Married with Children, right?
Yeah, I think he was on Married with Children.
So my dad loves anything that he can relate from when he was younger, I guess, and he loves the show. I mean, I love that show. 10
Also,
out of 10.
Latinos claim Sofia Vergara big time. That is our precedent. Like that is the
For
blueprint.
me, she's like our pride and joy, and she's not
She's
even
your pride
Filipino.
and joy. She's the
Yeah,
blueprint. We
like
love her.
neighbors.
Did you know that she went to the same high school as Shakira?
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That's
Anyways,
insane though.
we're talking about Abbott Elementary this week. And I'm stoked because this is I will die on the hill that this is the best show on TV right now. And it honestly drives me nuts, like the lack of conversation about this show. Like it's genuinely
Yeah.
so good. And I'm so happy for Quinta Brunson, the creator. Because remember how we
Okay.
used to watch her on BuzzFeed when we were like 14, 15?
We were fans, like
Like, oh my
love.
God, I am rooting for Quinta. I also read that like Abbott Elementary has the highest um watch thingy on like live TV
Okay.
right now. Which like it
Nice.
has like Modern Family numbers, which is crazy because nobody watches live TV anymore. So I'm like,
Right.
yes, Quinta, go.
I love it because I mean, I if you've
Teacher.
listened to the other past two podcasts, because this is my third one, I used to be a first grade teacher. It only lasted 1 year. It's a long story for another day, but I did get the opportunity to be homeroom teacher, and then I've also tutored many different students from different grades. So overall, I've had my share of experiences, and I can say that teachers are one of the those careers that are really, como se dice, like not appreciated,
Underappreciated. For
underappreciated,
sure underappreciated. I think we
and
get a lot.
not, and even like I worked at a really good school here in Panama, but like even that teachers are still like, and they paid really well, but even that, like, we're still underpaid, they're still underfunded. And this was a private school, but still, like, people should be like rushing and like running to donate stuff to schools and supporting. And this show really, I love how it does show this daily struggles of teachers, and how if you like, we're called to that career and we choose to answer the phone. I think they said something like
Yeah.
that. Not many people answer because it's really demanding.
Would you ever go
It's
back?
what
Would you ever go back to teaching?
I would go back. Right now, I have discovered or rediscovered some other passions. I've always considered myself, in Spanish, you call like polifacética, which you
Multifaceted. Look at me being bilingual.
look at you. So I have a lot of different passions and interests. So I'm just exploring some other passions and interests, but I would go back to teaching. I'm just finishing a master's in education. I love teaching. It's a passion I will always have. It just never goes away. It really doesn't. So I loved this show, and it does show the public, the
How hard it is
audience,
to be a teacher. Like it's
how
fucking hard.
hard, and like you just have to put 110% of your soul and like dedication and everything, and just for how much you love those kids. Like, those kids are your students are. It's I cannot even start to explain. Like, it was like I had 18 kids, like 18, like,
I've
children.
always
They
wondered this.
I was a mom of 18 students, and I was freaking 22.
I have a
Like,
question. I've always wondered this. So when you go home, are you like in the middle of the night thinking about like random student that like had issues with something?
I mean, yeah, I can. It's not been that long since I was a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm 25 now, but I started when I was 22, so it was 22 going to 23. But I can still name each kid, their reading level, their strengths and their needs. Like, it just never leaves
Did
you.
you ever like
Even
hate a kid though? Like you actually hate that little like you actually hate him and it's like I need to pretend I don't 'cause I'm your teacher.
kinda, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of tea, and I know this episode is not about that. We're not gonna talk about
Your kids?
all of my tea, but there was a kid that I did kind of, despise. It was more of his parents.
Okay.
They were like, "Oh, he can never do anything wrong," and then the kid would go and like punch like the not the bully. He was not a bully. It was another kid that had emotional problems, and he was really big. Um, and then this other kid, which I despised, he was he was petite. Then he will go and punch the big guy, and then
You
of
said
course
the
the big guy was,
Chihuahua.
and then the big aha Chihuahua, and then the big guy would boom, punch back, and then the small one would cry like, "Ah, he hit me," and I'm like,
You hit him
then why
first,
are you
bitch.
going like taking the other one? And then the parents would, you know, they were just insufferable. And of course, like I said, I was 22. I had zero experience. I just, fun fact, I did not study education in college. I majored in like a writing career. So I kind of started this position cold turkey. They hired me the day before school started. So I had zero preparation.
Really on brand
So
for
a
you though.
lot of stuff went wrong. A lot of stuff went wrong. You know, just being a first time teacher is a huge experience. So yeah, these parents were always like, she doesn't do this and that. I'm like, I'm barely trying to survive, and like, I'm always catching up, and you're just crying about your like, the parents were crybabies as well. I'm like, oh, I hated them.
I can see that. I can totally see that.
But like, even my kids that were the misbehaving, I had a misbehaving trio, and it was like powered. There were they were like boys. I was gonna say men.
men.
They were boys. The three of them, and they were like, it was like power dynamics. Like if one did something, the other had to yell louder, and then the other one had to yell louder. Like
Oh my
they were
god.
competing for the attention, and then
Not men doing the little
I call them my angels
not men
because.
on their pissing contest since like age 7. Already doing the
But
pissing contest.
100, like now that time has passed, and with like the whole that year, it's not that these kids were doing like that on purpose. I got to know them and their families and their backgrounds, and there were definitely stuff that came from home. One of the kids, he was really like, he would have thrived in a forest school. You know those in Europe, because he just loved like rolling on the ground. He
Oh,
loved getting naked. He would just thrive. He would have thrived in a forest school. Like this was not his ideal environment. So that's why he was like really. Oh, he needed to be stimulated a lot. That's why he never could sit down for long periods of time. Then I had another one that was constantly like overly stimulated by many sounds, so then like he would just jump from his seat or start like making noises. And then the other one that was really big, it was more issues from home. Parents were enablers and never learned how to put boundaries, so this kid just came to school and thought he could do whatever he wanted, but he was really like a sweetheart deep down, but it
mhm.
was just a way of like coping. So you get to love these kids even though they drive you crazy, because it's a cry for help
Yeah, they're
when they behave
also
that much.
literally children. So like how mad?
And that's, you see that in the series. I love it in the episode about the girl that's like misbehaving,
Uh-huh.
that they changed their
Yeah.
rules. And as soon as like the episode progressed, of course we didn't get that much information about the girl, just that she was a like troublemaker. But as soon as she was like
Moved up. She
using
was moved up because she
like
was
the
smarter.
before that, but like she was like using big vocabulary, I was like, this girl needs to be challenged. Like, yeah.
Did you have
So
any episode that like really like either made you laugh really hard or you were like, oh, I've seen this 1,000 times?
well,
What was your favorite episode?
my I love the step
This
episode.
episode was fire. I love.
I high key cried.
Me too. I cried
And
too.
I was like, yes, love it.
Honestly, I love Ava. I'm an Ava apologist. Like, I'm sorry.
So I told you last week that I hated Ava because as a teacher or ex teacher, I would have hated to have a boss like Ava, like not spending the budget wisely or not knowing what's going on. But I have to say, I know.
Okay, well,
I'm a
that
Peter
last
stan.
episode though, when she's like, "I spend money keeping extra uniforms so the kids don't get bullied." That's smart as fuck.
I mean, I really started to like her. She's funny as
She's the
hell.
funniest
I
character on TV right now. Like, honestly,
I started seeing that side. Like, she's funny as
she's so funny.
and she's so funny. I love how they bully Quinta, no, Janine, her character.
Mhm. She's
Like,
she's cute.
even though I was a really new teacher and I should relate to Janine, I would have hated
Janine.
Janine in real life. I
You
hate
would.
people that are like that.
You would, because she's such an overachiever and like a do-gooder, and you would have been
Yeah,
like, this fucking bitch. At it again.
literally. I would have been best friends with
Melissa.
the redhead,
Melissa.
Melissa.
Melissa was my favorite. Like, that was my favorite. Okay, but the episode where Janine's friend from school, Zahar, whose real name is Sarah, that was so funny to me.
I wanted to punch Sahar. So, like, when I saw, that they did the
Yeah.
sculpture and then they pan it back and you see she used the pages
Uh-huh.
from the
Oh,
book. I wanted to kill her. I was like, those are books. The fuck is wrong with you? I was in shock. I was in shock.
I
Jail.
was shook. I
She
love that episode so much because I didn't see it coming. Like, I saw the sculpture, and like it took just long enough for me to like realize what was going on that I was like, oh, she didn't get
the audacity. I was
the audacity unmatched. The audacity unmatched.
but it was a good
It-
episode.
they're all good
I love
episodes.
I loved I texted you this when Jacob and Barbara became a duo.
Dynamic duo I didn't know I needed. Their little
Uh,
gardening club, like honestly,
and Gregory like helping from behind. Yes. The way I'm in love with Gregory.
you would be. I watched that show and I was like, Emily's gonna be fully in love with Gregory. I wasn't.
He's so like unimpressed, but at the same time invested.
You love that. Give Emily a slightly disinterested man. That's her shit. Like straight up.
Yeah.
Slightly
That,
disinterested.
but I love
He's
him. And like the episode that he's like, I don't like
Oh
pizza.
my, that was insane to me. Like that was so funny to me because like the moment he said he didn't like pizza and he didn't like telling people, I immediately knew why. Because that's me. Do you know that I don't like chewing gum?
I can see it. I stopped, sorry, chewing gum like 7 years
I've
ago.
never liked it. Like it's always grossed me the fuck out. Like I don't get it. But like every time I talk about it, people lose their fucking minds. Like everybody has so many questions, and I'm like, leave me alone.
For the longest time, well, till this day, I have a ketchup phobia. Ketchup, I hate it. I never liked it. But growing up, it was not only ketchup; it was like just tomatoes in general, like pasta
That is
sauce
so
or like
random.
sauce on pizza. I order pizza without the sauce. I've always been
That's a quesadilla.
growing.
That's literally a quesadilla.
That's a focaccia. Focaccia. I was fancy as fuck. Is in school, Pizza Fridays were the
Yes.
shit. So,
How much was a
if you
pizza
didn't
slice
like
at your school? How much was a
what?
pizza slice at your school?
Well, back then, like
I
$1.
swear to God, I fucking learned about inflation with the pizza slice. Because in primary school,
Oh, or the empanadas. Each year they were 25 cents.
I swear, Emily, I
Macaro.
swear to you that when I was, because I went to this same school from grade school to graduated, right? And I swear to you, primary school, a pizza slice was 75 cents. When I
Crazy.
graduated, the pizza slice was 125. Like,
Crazy.
what? What for a slice of pizza? $1 25.
Ridiculous. But yeah, so I was like the when everybody was ordering their pizza on Fridays, you had to have a pizza or you were not, with the times. So, but I was the pickiest person with pizza. Like eventually I started eating regular
Mm-hmm.
pizza, but if it had too much like
Mm-hmm.
sauce,
Were you the girl that like
so
dabbed the oil out of the
for me
pizza?
it was a complete. I had to dab like in the corner where nobody saw me, like the excess sauce. I was the pickiest eater with everything that had to do with
That is so.
tomato. Nowadays, I love tomato. I love pico de gallo. I love marinara sauce. I love caprese salad. Everything except ketchup. But back then, I related to Gregory. Like, you know what? We don't all like ew stuff in
Okay,
our
but
mouth.
like not Jacob like doing the fucking most to get Gregory the pizza that he said he liked. I love Jacob. Jacob,
Jacob, I
also
love.
Jacob's
I
boyfriend. Okay, it's so funny when he shows up and then Ava's like, he's black.
Today I was looking on Twitter like for just tweets about Abbott, and they made like a compilation, and just when she says like black,
It,
bitch,
it was so
iconic.
funny. It was so. She's the best. Like, I'm sorry, it's Ava. It's the Ava show. Like,
I love Barbara as
Barbara's
well.
great.
Barbara is
She's so
she's
bougie.
great.
Like, I love her. I can.
I love how like composed she always is. She always looks flawless. I look like shit after a day in school.
She's stunning. Like, honestly, and like, but I think the favorite thing when I
Yeah.
started watching this show was seeing Melissa because I immediately recognized her from Parent Trap.
Fr- I I knew it. I knew it. She was from Parent Trap. I knew it. I didn't look it up because I was
Mm-hmm.
lazy, but I knew I saw her. And it. I kept thinking like, is it Parent Trap?
Because like, she's
She
freaking
is
iconic at the Parent Trap, and
iconic,
like, I hadn't seen her. I don't think I've seen her in anything else. Well, like I've
right?
seen The Parent Trap
She's
so many
completely weird.
times that like,
She
and
completely
she killed
weird.
it. She's great. I love her. She killed it.
Oh, the way she's still gorgeous and has
Stunning.
aged like
Like
fine,
body, yaddy, yaddy. Jesus,
and like her face, her
all of it.
skin,
Beautiful,
collagen.
beautiful, beautiful.
Drop your skincare routine,
Please
girl.
do. Like we will. We want to listen.
I'm 25 and I'm
We're
struggling still with skin.
struggling. I want to see. Like while I was watching the show, I like. I hate to say this, but I would be a Janine. I know. I know it.
You
I
would be a
would be
Janine.
a hundred
100%.
percent. Like
Yeah.
I hate I hate it. I hate that. But I would be a Janine. Like honestly.
I would never.
It's so embarrassing, but like what am I gonna do? Like it's I would totally like hyper fixate on like one random teacher that I think is like the best teacher ever and like wanna be like just like her. Big Gabby energy for
I
sure.
love. I would be either. I know Gregory was the sub teacher, but I had that energy. I sort of just did my job. I mean, I did my job. I focused on my class and everything, but because I was so busy and so, just catching up with shit because I was new, I honestly didn't have the energy to go above and beyond. So I kind of just showed up and
And
did
then
my
do it.
best within what I had to do. I mean, I did picture myself if I had stayed teaching, being more above and
Mhm.
beyond teacher, I guess, but I never got the chance. But you
Did
need
you
more
hang out with the
experience. But
teachers?
just
Because I always wonder that, like in the teachers' lounge, like I remember being in high school and like pretending to know, like I would make up conspiracy theories about what teacher was homies with what teacher, and
well,
who had beef with who. And I
um,
had zero receipts, like no receipts, just vibes.
in my in my school there were cliques.
Teacher,
When I arrived, when I arrived, I was the youngest. Like I said, I was 22. Everybody was older than 30. Like the youngest next to me was like
Was she
30,
your homie?
and she was, I guess, but she had already like a
Uh,
clique, and they were like, and
Dude, and also the jump between
imagine the
22 and 30 is astronomical.
yeah, and the Regina George of that clique, she was very like
Okay, what did
snaky-ish.
okay, let
So
me
I
guess what she taught.
so
Can I guess? I'm gonna guess.
remember I worked in
Okay,
elementary,
okay.
so there's not like great teach. Oh yeah,
She did grammar.
well she was a homeroom teacher,
Okay.
so yeah.
Okay, fine.
She was a second grade teacher, the one that was like the Regina George of the clique. But I the one that was closest to my age was from my grade level. So I did. She was really friends with me. She invited me to her
Mhm.
birthday that
Did you go?
year. So she was my closest, I can say, as an age, and like with her, I could talk like I do. I didn't have to talk like a grown up. With her, I could be
Okay.
like, no, blah blah blah, young people slang, I guess. But the person I loved the most and I felt I could really trust was a specialist that was new that year, and she didn't have like a
Hmm.
click or anything. So, and she was the specialist that would come to my room and read with the lowest
Hmm.
level readers. And I loved her because it was like her name was Jen. I was like, Jen, how the fuck do I teach sneaky E? And she would help me. So she was the best. But overall, like there were two big
That is
cliques
so funny though. That
in the
is
building,
so funny.
and but there were like there were a lot of teachers that were just like lone wolves that they came what they went, did their job, and got
Honestly,
out.
respect. Because like being in the
Yeah,
teacher clique, kind of embarrassing.
and they did plans outside of
I
school.
mean,
Yeah,
you
I don't know.
see, I believe in being friends with your coworkers. I do, but not to the point where it's clicky. Like that's embarrassing. Also, like I always wanted to know if teachers that are like actual homies, do you think they talk shit about students like outside their work hours? They totally do. 1,000%.
Yeah,
Like I imagine them like talking shit about this like 10-year-old on like
I
happy hour.
mean, students kind of make you do that sometimes. You gotta rant. It's a
Jeez.
survival skill, I guess. But yeah,
You're
so
Gregory
in this
and
episode,
a Janine.
we are so we're gonna discuss which
Honestly,
men.
I think we should discuss all the characters.
Yeah, we can choose like a bestie and a
We
boyfriend.
could. Okay, so when
We
I
can,
did this show with Samantha, Sam was very pro choosing girlfriends. Emily does not choose girlfriends in this episode.
I can choose a girlfriend, but I will. I mean, the men are
I
so
know,
awesome.
I
So
know.
I'm kind of want to have a bestie and a
Okay, let's
partner.
do. See,
I mean, I could choose a girlfriend and a male bestie. Like
I just
the men in the show
honestly,
are
the thing
bestie
is that the
material as
men
well.
on this show are wholesome, but like I cannot date a single one of them, like straight up. I don't think I could. Okay,
The
I'm gonna
problem is,
roast one by one. Well,
okay, I'm gonna save my
okay,
comments
I'm
for
gonna.
each one.
Do you want me to roast all the characters, or I'm gonna roast all the characters because I have
Let's
the
go.
list.
Let's go one,
I'm gonna roast.
but let's go
Okay,
one by
roasting
one.
Janine first. Okay, I'm gonna roast her and then you roast her. Janine,
Okay.
big pick me energy,
Oh
and
my god.
I feel like she wouldn't. She is the friend that wouldn't make me feel like I'm not doing the best I could.
So yeah,
Yeah, like I would be
overachiever. I
trying
hate
to
that shit.
like have a chill fucking
I'm,
Wednesday,
I'm
and then I would feel like a bad
look.
person because Janine's doing the most.
look, no shame in bringing your A game everywhere you go. I admire that, but I hate when they rub it in your face, or like when I was in school, there was always that one girl that was like, "Oh my god, I got a 96. Oh, I failed," and I was
I
like,
hate it. Oh my god, we have
"Fuck up."
every fucking class has that bitch.
So I feel Janine would have been that person,
A
which I
thousand
fucking
percent,
hate.
a
I mean,
thousand
I
percent, and
love
that's
her
like basically confirmed.
I love I love Janine's passion. I love her dedication. She gives it her all for her students. But
Okay,
girl,
that
go to
episode
therapy. I know you have
where
mom
they talk
issues.
about the gifted kids and how like Janine was obviously the gifted kid, and then Gregory, like I felt like Gregory deeply. Like I understand because like on something, I the way I was as a student is that I was either really good at something or awful, plain
Yeah,
awful.
me too.
So like I wasn't like I don't think I was considered like a smart kid. I was just like or at least I didn't think I was because I didn't get like honors anything as a like a grade schooler, and like dude, that shit, that's fucking painful when you're like in fourth grade.
That shit messes you. Like if you have parents, like if you get on, I know in your school they give
Yeah,
you
that's
what el
I don't know how
honor.
to English that.
Bullshit. In my school they didn't do that. My
God
school
bless
didn't do
them
that.
for that.
But if you got in the what the fuck the word is called
Okay,
honor in
so if
English?
you
Those
had a GPA,
it was an honor, like
yeah,
an
like an
honorable
honorable
mention
mention,
that
like you're
everybody.
smart.
So if you got that because you're simply, good at writing or good whatever, and your parents are like, we're proud of you, that's okay. If you don't get into that honorable mention, your parents are like, we're still proud of you. But there's a lot of parents that threaten their kids, like, you
A
have to
thousand
be
percent.
in the fucking
I
honorable
was
mention this year.
in
And
only
that's
twice.
fuck. What if you don't get in because you have a slight level of like dyslexia or dyscalculia, which is the dyslexia of math, which I believe I
Honestly,
kind of
I feel
have.
like I should probably do too. Like that would
I suck at numbers, and not just like I'm bad at math. No, I have zero time
same,
management, time
same.
perception. I don't understand
But
number
honestly, my
language.
mom is low key the same way. Like my brother makes fun of us when we're like
Yeah, and my mom never
when we're
feel
counting
bad. She was like, you know what?
change. I remember this one time vividly where my mom and I were trying to count like 75 cents. And I swear to fucking God, it took us like 5 minutes and my brother was losing his mind. Like he was just looking at us struggle, grabbing the pennies, and he was like, yo, these bitches are dumb as fuck. Like he could not.
Oh, I think change a
I fucking
nightmare for
hate it.
me.
I absolutely
That's why I think Loki. That's why I never
straight
carry
up.
cash, because my neck, like when the cashier is like, "Oh, just give me blah blah amount of cents," and I'm like, "No, I
Like
just
I
use fucking card."
same.
But yeah,
And it's yep, no,
so
same.
yeah,
I can't because like it makes me feel dumb. And it also like I feel bad for the person behind me because I'm taking forever to like count it, and the amount of times with the cashier's like I'll do it
oh, yeah, and Jenny would be that person. Like
1000%.
it's 25,
Okay,
26. So yeah, Jenny, she needs to go to therapy because clearly she has mother
she is
issues.
yep, she has
She's
issues.
it's not her fault that her mom is not present. It's really not her fault, but she's a grown ass adult and she needs to go solve those issues because she's taking them on Barbara. It was so awkward when Barbara and the daughter were
Oh
like
my god,
hugging or whatever, and Jean just standing
Jenny
there
was
was
like,
like,
I'm
bitch, get out.
her school daughter. I was like, no, no.
And she was like, oh, can I should make a reservation for the three of us. I was,
Ugh!
no,
See,
stop, cringe,
that is
cringe.
so
I was like,
painful because I
no.
can totally see myself pulling that, like saying something like that. So I was like cringing, bold, italic. Like I can't even explain how much I was cringe. I was like,
But yeah, Janine would not be my bestie
I
or
would
my
want Janine
girlfriend
to be part of my
at
friend
all.
group, though. I would say
I would want her to be part of my team, as in like, oh, we're both second grade or we're both third grade, because she would 100% have the best resources, Like there's in the teacher world, we use Teachers Pay Teachers, which is a website where teachers sell like, oh, I made a like spreadsheets or like sheets for practicing whatever, and they sell them. It's how the teachers
Oh
make
shit.
extra bucks. And some teachers have like an
Really?
empire. They sell like they
Wait,
sell
what?
bundles for three like three grades, like fifth, sixth,
Wait,
seventh
hold up. Do you have like
bundles, like for
access to
500.
this? Like, can you still see it? Okay, we need to make a TikTok out of this
Yeah.
because I have no clue.
So yeah, Janine would have mad
So
TPT
she's like MLM.
resources.
Is it like
So I
MLM
would
for
love.
teachers? Like a
The
multi-level
fuck is
pyramid
MLM?
scheme.
No, this is like
Teachers, girl
legit.
bossing.
So legit teachers. Some of them, they have like shops. They set their shops. I don't sell anything, but I buy from other teachers, and there's like
What?
freebies. It's the best,
What?
the best. So yeah,
That's
I'll make a TikTok.
crazy.
So yeah,
Okay. Um,
so I would love to have Janine as my work partner, my team member, but bestie, I would. She would drive me crazy, like
I
having lunch
do
with
ship
her.
her with Gregory though. That was really cute when he wanted to have pizza with her.
I mean,
Okay,
I love because it's those
yeah, I can
polar
see that working.
opposites.
It
Couples
also
that,
reminded me. Okay, do you remember on Lizzie McGuire the movie where Kate is bitching at Hillary that she didn't have a handsome Italian boy take her out for pasta, and then Lizzie's like, Kate, you don't eat carbs. And Kate's like, I would if an Italian boy invited me to.
yeah,
And I was like, that's really funny, but they're supposed to be 14, and what? Anyway,
yeah, diet culture.
Ava,
The fuck.
freaking love Ava.
So teachers,
Highly
I was thinking of
entertained by
teachers.
Ava hitting on
So
Gregory the entire time. Like, I think it's really funny.
like young,
Denzel,
young
what else did he
Idris,
call? She called him young
Elba,
Idris, Idris or Denzel. I don't remember. Idris.
Idris. Is it no? She called it. I saw it today. It was young Idris. Is it? We say
I think
Idris
it's
or
Idris.
Idris Elba. Which I don't know.
I love
I don't want to
him.
butcher his name. Sorry.
That's really funny to me. I love her outfits.
Yeah.
I love how she's like literally never doing anything. Like, and how they need to keep reminding her at what
Love.
time the students show up every day. And she's like, every day? Queen! Queen behavior.
I love. I love when Barbara had she misused the app and accidentally put that all her students read at a fourth grade level, and at the end she was like, "Sorry, it was an accident," and he was like, Ava was like, "Girl, I condone cheating, but you gotta tell me. Like, I support cheating, but you gotta tell me first."
See, this is why I love Ava. Because even though she's like high key toxic, she like
Oh,
tells it
high
like it
key
is.
toxic.
She would be a good friend. Like straight up, she would tell you.
Oh,
She's loyal and she would
loyal as
tell
fuck.
you, and like she's resourceful as hell. The
Yeah, I
TikToks.
mean, I appreciate friends that tell you at like as it is. Like they don't sugarcoat shit. Ava is
I
that
also think it's really
person.
funny how
Love it.
like she was so pissed that she didn't know about the TikTok trend, the desking trend. Like she was deeply hurt that she didn't.
She,
And I'm like,
she was
honestly, I
offended.
understand because like, and that happens to me, and I don't even hang out with like middle schoolers or like grade because I'm not a fucking teacher. But whenever there's a trend on like online and I don't know about it, I feel old. Like I don't know the TikTok dances, but I must know there is a dance. Like I must know.
Oh,
No.
oh, like and her when she roasts Janine,
Also,
10 out of 10. The one that when Janine was like doing the flashcards and like, oh, I have been with my boyfriend since eighth grade, and everybody was shook, and I was shook. I was like, girl, you need to taste more cakes and ice cream or whatever metaphor they use. I'm 100% pro. You gotta
That
have different
is
boyfriends before you marry. You need to know what you like. And then when Jenny, sorry, Ava was like, "Are you a Mormon?" Mormon. Jenny was like, "No." She's like, "Well, you need more
that
men."
was really fun.
Even Barbara,
Loved her.
high
I
five
don't
because
think
it
you
was
need to have
such a
like a
good
shit ton of
roast.
boyfriends. Like I don't think that's necessary. But if it's the same one,
Not a
I
shit
think
ton,
you need
but
like
you
yeah,
gotta date
for
a
sure. Like you
little.
need to go on like a few dates with like different people.
It's not
Also,
it's not having boyfriends just to have boyfriends. It's just dating and see like, okay, this is something I can tolerate. This is something I won't tolerate at all in a relationship. If you don't date a little, you're never gonna know
also
what you're gonna
eighth
tolerate
grade.
and
Like I
get
feel like
married.
you changed so much from eighth grade.
I feel I'm not the same person
I
as
mean,
last year, girl.
okay,
Eighth
Emily
grade?
and I were going insane during the pandemic because we like discovered that many people that we thought we liked we didn't because they weren't taking COVID seriously, and it was an eye opening experience
Yeah,
for the girlies here.
it
Anyway,
but yeah, and I mean, and Janine's boyfriend, we'll talk about him later, but the fact that he said like, "Oh, I'm a feminist, baby, I let you pay for everything."
honestly, the writing on this show is so good. Wait, let me
Oh,
film geek for three
I mean,
seconds. The writing on this show is phenomenal, and the camera work on this show, like how they're catching the kids' reactions.
I mean, I'm a fan for mockumentaries. I love them. Like they're my favorite style of sitcoms, mockumentaries, like The Office, Parks and Rec.
It's a
Modern
mockumentary.
Family is a sort of mockumentary. It is. I love it. I love when they break that fourth wall, talk to
Great,
us.
great
Love it.
everything. Okay, so Melissa is next to
Oh,
flawless
yeah.
to me. I can't find a single thing to complain about. Like what
Snaps
I
from
can't
Melissa.
find a single thing wrong with Melissa, like straight up.
She's
She's
dedicated. She's
not afraid to get
passionate.
her
She's a
hands
badass.
dirty.
She And I love how she has this, badass exterior, which I mean, she is a badass,
Mhm.
but she's also a softie. She's like, I wouldn't kill for any of y'all except of Barbara. Except of Barbara. Like, I would kill for Barbara. I was like, yeah, work wives, love them. And the fact that she was like, you gotta make silly voices when she was telling Gregory, like, you gotta be silly with your students. Like, you gotta make learning fun. And, she has like the leather pants and then suddenly pulls out a like squeaky voice. I love it.
I love
That
her, and I love her
duality.
friendship
On
with
point.
Barbara, and she's great. I also love how the whole thing that she has
They
a
are
guy
that
for
whole thing.
everything. Honestly, I feel seen by
Yeah.
that because like that's always been me. Not that I have like a shit ton of friends, but I am very fucking resourceful. Like if you need me to find something or find someone, I I will
You
find
will.
like every time, like every single friend of mine, like if they're going on a Tinder date, oh, I will find their grandma's alma mater. Give me 2 minutes. Like
Yeah.
I am that girl. I will find every. It's
You are that
it's
girl.
it's
Yeah.
always been me.
And I love, like you said, the relationship with Barbara because they are actually they're very opposites. They're that
They just respect each other.
opposites attract relationship, but as work wives, I love it. I love the work wife relationship in like media. I mean, we don't see it that much, but I love it. It's so wholesome.
Honestly,
They
like it,
they
it
really
made
care
me
for each
really
other, and I
sad.
love
Like
it.
I related to Janine when this happened. When she was sad that Gregory didn't consider her a friend. Jacob, oh sorry,
No,
yeah,
it
Jacob.
was
When
Jacob.
Jacob didn't consider her a friend,
It was very sad. I was disappointed in Jacob in
that
that
made me
minute. I was like,
so sad.
really?
That made me so because I don't know if we've been there, but like I've been there a bunch of times where I fully think somebody's my friend, and then they're like, yeah, no, she's not my friend, and I'm like, wait, what?
It was very sad because I said that I didn't have like a clique or anything
As
at
a
school. But
teacher,
even though
Emily
I
had
didn't
hella
have a
friends
cliquey
in school.
as a teacher, no, yeah, as a teacher, sorry, cliquey friend group as a teacher, I still talked about my personal lives with my coworkers, and they knew I had a boyfriend or whatever. Like I didn't talk about personal stuff as in like, oh,
Mhm.
my vulnerabilities are this and that. Of course not. But they knew my, like, they could say,
Your life.
they knew a little bit about me. And then like Jacob suddenly has a boyfriend
Dude,
of two
that
years.
sends me.
I
I
would
used
feel
to have
offended.
a because like there's something that fucking drives me nuts, and it's lying. I uh used to have a friend in high school, and I will tell you who she is later, but I'm not gonna use her real name here. Let's just call her Sandra. So Sandra was
Okay.
one of my closest friends in eighth grade, early high school, until we got on a fight. Like it was a fight, but it wasn't a fight because I don't fight. And honestly, like
Oh,
because like this bitch, she
at
kept
this
telling me like we used to hang out all the time, right? Like I think it was like every like Saturday or Friday we had like movie days and we would watch like a shit ton of movies together. It was like our thing. And then suddenly we stopped doing them because she had plans or whatever. And no problem. Like for sure, have plans, have friends, like that's totally cool. But then randomly, this one time I caught her with the manos en la masa. That's what's the red-handed. Bitch had been hiding a
red-handed.
boyfriend the entire time. Imagine. Like that's insane.
That's
Like
not cool.
what? Like like
Like, why wouldn't she trust?
and it's not like it was just so bizarre to me that she wouldn't like that she would have lied for years, right? Right? And then I
That's
full on
freaking
stopped
crazy.
talking to her, and then she like physically aggravated, like she fucking physically assaulted me. That's a story for another day. But yeah, she hit me. A bitch hit me because I refused to talk to her. I literally like found that out, and then I was like, "That's fine." I literally said like, "So we're not like it's fine." I see that our friendship is not as important to you as it was to me, and I believe in transparent friendships, and I just it's totally cool. I'm not gonna go talk shit, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're friends anymore. Like that was it. Like I didn't do anything. Like I didn't do a whole
This is
bitch went
totally
psycho.
valid if you do that.
Oh my god, like, and I didn't talk to her for like a few weeks, and it's not like I wouldn't talk to her. Like if she's on the way, I need to go by. I'd be like, hey, Sandra, can I? But like I just wouldn't like text her back or like send her memes or whatever. And Emily, she literally fucking like she hurt. Like
That's
it was crazy.
insane. I need to hear this. I need
I'll
her name. I
give
need her
it
name,
to
and
you
you're gonna give it to
later.
me later.
Give
But
it to you later. And dude, oh my god. So I still haven't talked to her. Like I do not associate with her. Like absolutely not. And I saw her at my 5-year high
as
school
you should.
reunion, and she was like, "We should totally hang out." Like actually, and I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "This bitch actually thinks I want to hang out with her." Like, girly, what? You're crazy. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Um, Melissa's
So
flawless.
we're talking about Melissa's flawless. So now
Love
Barbara
Barbara.
also
Also flawless. I feel like she's
also
probably not the best
flawless.
mother. No.
She definitely looks like the kind of mother that the daughter was sort of like a,
She
not
was
influencer,
she
but
was
she was like a
PR for like
PR
an alcohol brand.
thing.
Like that's a legit job.
And in Barbara's eyes, she's like, no, that's not a job. So Barbara's like classic boomer that you need to work the classic five
Mhm.
careers or you're not working. But I still feel that Barbara, she's that type of teacher. She's been teaching
Like
30
you can tell
years,
she
which,
loves it.
girl, she's not. It's not easy teaching for 30 years. She loves it. She's definitely the type
Okay,
of
that
mentor I would
episode,
have
the
loved
last
to
episode
have.
when
So
is it the animal that Komodo dragon or whatever like retired and she was like losing her shit. I
um,
cried. I cried. And Melissa was a great
it
friend
was
to
very
her. Like
sad.
I love her for that.
Yeah, but yeah, Barbara does not seem like the most that she seems like a good mother, but still
Barbara
needs
seems
she
like a
needs to let
great
go a little bit.
auntie, maybe
But
not
as
the best mother.
a mother,
Oh, for sure, for
she's gonna
sure,
be a great
for sure.
grandmother
Like she has really
though.
good
So
advice. She looks. It's very. I can think of very
yeah.
few characters on TV that I can tell smell nice. Like I can tell she
Oh,
smells nice.
100%. Yes.
Like I mean, like
Yes.
immediately. I can't even think of like another character right now that I think would like. I'm like, yeah, they
No.
smell nice. Absolutely. I can't think of somebody.
Yes. And she seems like the type of like person that always has like
Mm-hmm.
mints,
Yes.
wipes, uh,
She probably
Kleenex,
carries
anything
like
you need in her purse.
pads, even though she doesn't menstruate, just in case somebody menstruates. Like,
Probably. But I love her. I would have loved to have her as a mentor, like I said. But yeah,
yeah, I mean, but
she is
that
very
happens with that
stubborn though.
generation, though, and I get it. Um, cause I find myself being
Yeah.
stubborn with like certain things, and then I catch myself and I'm like, no, like you cannot be like that,
And I feel she's also
church
because
lady.
she's really like a
Like
church
she's a rule follower. Like she
church
needs
lady. She's she's also yeah stubborn in that way. Like when Melissa told her
mm-hmm,
like sometimes you gotta go and
finesse.
like I don't know what the word is, finesse, and Barbara was like no that goes against my morals whatever. It's like girl, no one's perfect. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Like the fact that you go to
That's
church does not
T.
make you a good person.
Also, the fact that you
See,
are spiritual doesn't make you a good person either. Like that's really funny to me. Like
see,
people that think that like just because you're into spirituality or you meditate or you do yoga or like you're vegan that you're automatically a good person. I cannot tell you the amount of
yeah,
fucking assholes I've met that happen to be vegan. I'm like, that's so funny that you're against animal cruelty because you're
yeah.
fucking cruel to people. Like you're cruel to the server. You're cruel. Like
But yeah, so like Barbara, I feel she needs to let go a little bit.
yes,
You can go to church and still finesse, and have a
malice.
little
I
bit
think it's
of
malice. I mean,
malicia, malice. Is
Bestie
that how
came
you
through.
say
We
it?
claim her. Also,
You know,
her daughter is stunning, like stunning. But
oh,
I don't want her dating Gregory, and I don't want. I am
me neither.
bothered by Barbara not being bothered.
I thought Barbara was gonna be like Stanley was in The Office, like
Oh,
¿qué es lo que
oh, we
decían?
just talked about
When
this. Damn, man.
damn
Yeah,
mine, damn mine, son. When he thought that Ryan was hitting on his
I mean,
his
I
daughter
think
as
Stanley's
he
daughter was a
should.
minor, but uh, but still,
So there's details, but I mean, as a parent, you should be concerned.
Gregory
But
is a
Gregory
fine
is a very
gentleman.
fine gentleman.
It's fine.
Again,
Let's talk about Gregory.
but still, I feel Janine
For
needs
sure.
a
Like,
Gregory
I just
as a boyfriend, so
I
she
wonder
can
how
also like
long it's gonna
let
take
loose a
them to
little
like
bit.
put them
You
together.
know?
Third, fourth season.
Oh, I feel like third, fourth season.
Okay, that's fine.
We're not gonna give that
That's
to us
fine.
yet.
But yeah.
It's like The Office, The Office. They didn't give us Jim and Pam
Also,
till like
New Girl,
season 4.
Friends, every single sitcom ever.
That's how they keep it going and keep pulling people back. I mean, the content in this show 10 out of 10. But the romantic, relationship also
So what
plays
do
a
you
big
think
role
about
on like
Gregory?
pulling people back.
Like, would he be your you? No, you're in love with Gregory. You fucking claim Gregory.
I'm not in love with him. I just, he's just, I don't know. He looks like a, I
I
don't know.
stand by the thought that Emily likes her men to be slightly like detached and like uninterested on what's going on.
In media, Peter is the most invested, loving, best boyfriend. He's not like that. I would hate to have a real boyfriend that would be like detached. It would drive me nuts. But in
Do you
media,
consider
I love it.
I forgot his name. Uh the guy from New Girl. Do you think he's detached? Nick? No, right? No. He's just messy
Nick?
and delusional. And I love
He's
him.
just
I would die for
messy
him.
and has a lot of issues.
Okay, so
I need to watch
Gregory
New Girl
is
again. Oh my
still in the running, I guess. We have
yeah, I just love him, and he has such big aspirations. I love that he wants to be a principal.
that sounds like
Not everybody
honestly the
can say
worst job in the
that.
world to me. Like,
And
why the fuck would you want to be a
oh,
principal?
it
Like,
is.
I do not
I
get
would
that.
never be a
Not at all. Like,
That's horrible. Horrible. But as a man, you see very few male teachers, and I love
mhm.
that we see a lot of character development. I think in
His
all the
character development
characters,
is
but I
really
love
good.
his character development. How he slowly started. He was starting to let loose in the last episode at the zoo. He was like making silly voices when he started dancing in the when
Oh
Tariq
my
was doing
god.
the anti-drugs rap
Okay, I will
and he
not
started
miss
dancing.
Tariq.
I was
Like, I will not. Tariq, we briefly
at
on
all.
Tariq. Tariq is Janine's boyfriend. In case you don't watch this show and you just like listening to her beautiful voices, he fucking sucks. But he does have iconic moments. Like,
Iconic one-liners, iconic
babe,
dialogue, but
I'm a
I would hate
feminist. That's why I let you pay
his
for everything.
tire being.
Who king? Who?
And Janine is also delusional. She's like, oh, Tariq wakes up every day at 11:59 a.m. To get working on his rap. I'm so proud of him.
Bitches at her office by like 7:20.
What?
Like, it's crazy to me.
He's
And
waking
not
up at
paying
noon.
rent, sir.
And you're
No. Okay, so
no, no. But yeah,
canceled.
we're not gonna talk a lot about him. So
No,
Gregory,
we like
no,
Gregory.
love
Tariq,
him. No, Gregory, not
Jacob. I do love
Tariq
Jacob.
cancel.
I love him. I would have loved
I love
to
him.
have Jacob as
I
a
love.
teacher.
I think
He's so sweet.
he.
He's so
And as a friend,
sweet. And I
oh my
love his
god, I
boyfriend
love
too,
him.
Zach.
The second he appeared, I
I
was
like
yes,
I
yes,
don't
I'm on
even like I
board.
would
I love
honestly
it.
like to read the casting description for that boyfriend because I can't imagine anybody being better. Like, I have no clue who that actor is, but
No,
like
on point.
nobody
The
else
cast,
can be Zach. That's Zach.
it's because
Fantastic.
like the
It's so
casting in
good.
this show, A
The
plus.
Sahara, who's on one episode, she's on one fucking episode, and she's so good. it's it's great. It's a great show.
But yeah, Jacob, I love Jacob. He is so
He really cares
wholesome,
about his students. It's really sweet.
So I just
And I also, this
yeah,
is a trend with TV now, and I hope it's not a trend and it's just how it's going to be from now on, that the fact that Jacob is gay is not a thing. Like, nobody cares. It's just like briefly mentioned and then we move
love,
on.
love.
As it should be. As it should, because like
As it should be like that. It shouldn't be an issue. They shouldn't have to come out.
it's so,
Just
like as if as
He's just
humans,
another
we contain
person who
multitudes.
has.
Like your sexuality, like the fact that he's gay is literally
Yeah.
the least interesting part about him. Like honestly,
They never even mention it until Janine is
yeah,
like,
like
"Oh,
that's
there's a guy I
literally
want to set
like
you up with," and
the
that's like,
only
okay,
I hadn't even
let's
thought about it because it wasn't relevant. Period.
love love it. But yeah, he is the best
Love him.
top three
So
characters for me.
question, the $1,000,000 question, Emily. Wait, who are we
No,
missing?
wait. What about the janitor?
The janitor. Okay, hold up.
The janitor.
I'm so sorry. How dare I?
I
The
love it.
janitor, MVP of the show. This man is on this show
Iconic.
for like 45 seconds per episode, and every single time he steals the entire episode. Like it's insane. He's
He
so
kills it.
funny.
He is
The
the
custodian network.
funniest. I love how
How he knew about desking because
the
of the
what?
custodian network.
Oh, I love how in the first episode, because like they fired a teacher because she assaulted a student. That's fucked up. But they put the guy teaching is like
I
Illuminati.
love it. Do you
Network.
remember? Honestly, custodians are really important. Like I remember the custodian in my high school. Her name is I hope she's alive. I'm sure she is. Marta, and Marta was like head bitch in command. Like honestly,
Custodians
like I
are
remember
the
so many
backbone
times like
of
losing
schools.
shit and like losing because I'm a very anxious person if you can't tell. When I was like losing my fucking mind, and then Barbara, Marta would always do the most to help me find it, and I was like, thank you, Marta. And like that's not her job. That's
They
really
are
not her job.
the best.
Like she was just a really good person, and she liked me,
Yeah.
and I loved her. She was great. I hope she's doing well.
They are great. But yeah, the character of the custodian, he was 10 out of 10, the funniest, and yeah, we love him.
I think
We need more of him
that
next season.
I wanna your phone. I
My phone
think.
fell.
See, I'm trying. This is a hard pick for me as like a boyfriend or a girlfriend on this show, because like the way if I'm looking for a partner, I think the best partner would be Melissa, because it'd be like a very much of like a divide and conquer relationship. Does that make sense? Like if we need something done,
Uh-huh.
like we're gonna get it done.
Yeah,
But like as a bestie, I think
yeah,
Jacob and I would be besties 1,000%. But I think I would pick Melissa.
yeah.
That's like
Like
even though my favorite character is Ava 1,000%, but I think Melissa and I would be a better couple. Mhm.
if I could date Jacob, I would, but I cannot
He's a
because
homosexual.
he would not. He wouldn't be attracted
Well,
to me, but I would be attracted to
Emily,
him.
this is the world
Um,
where it doesn't matter. I am a lesbian now. You want to respect the character sexual? Okay, sure.
I'm
I
gonna
do
respect
not give
his
a fuck.
sexuality. So
Melissa and I are both
yeah,
lesbians for this moment.
but I love him.
Why are you
I don't
pretending
know.
it's
I
not
will. I
Gregory?
think
Like, why are you pretending it's not? I know you're gonna pick Gregory.
because I'm trying to think this strategically. Like maybe Gregory could be my crush or like my little, little adventure, and then I
If
would settle
Gregory is
down
what
with
you call
another
an
person.
adventure, we have an issue.
Not an adventure, but he looks like I don't know if he would be like
He might be
boyfriend
boyfriend, but
boyfriend
not husband.
material. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Closed off. Yep.
because he seems a little bit close, like
Mhm.
not there emotionally, and I need that. So you know what? Mm, I think I'm gonna go with Jacob. You said
Yeah,
this is a
both.
fantasy
I can
world,
see that.
so I'm gonna
Yep,
embrace
that's a
that.
because yep, I can see that because you're more of a Melissa and I'm more of a Jacob, and that's what we. That's the strategy.
We,
That's the strategy here. Okay,
oh my
so
god,
so yeah, in case you
but yeah,
haven't seen this
I pick
show,
Jacob.
you absolutely should. I think it's gonna dominate the Emmys. I really do. I
Oh,
I feel like it. I
it
genuinely feel
has
like it
to,
has
or I'm
to.
gonna
Like
riot.
it takes everything that all like beloved sitcoms did right and puts it together, and it's and yeah,
And it perfected, the little flaws that um sitcom not that sitcoms had flaws,
yeah,
but this one is
and
extremely
it's not
diverse in every
like
sense. Um
I mean so much. There's a thing with like diverse content which I love that they really need to let you know they're diverse. Like it's part of the conversation that it's a diverse piece of content. And what I love so much about Abbott Elementary is that it's just diverse. Nobody is making a point. Like, I mean, they are, but
yeah,
nobody's like hammering on it. Like, see,
they're not forcing any narratives.
yeah, love
Everything just
flows. Fluye is
fluye,
flow.
like flows really well. Yeah, and I feel the important point that they want to like put out with the show is just teachers and their struggles and their
Okay, we
passions like
give
nothing else,
Abbott
and I
Elementary a
love
10
it.
out of 10. We do.
10 out of 10. My when I finished it yesterday, my boyfriend was like, how would you rate it? And I'm like,
Perfect.
I
That's
was like
perfect.
10 out of 10, in my book, you know
Yeah,
because that's the type of show I love. I love sitcoms, I love mockumentaries, and besides that,
that's
content,
right.
10 out of 10, acting, casting, everything. But I recommend it for everyone.
It's a
There might be
sitcom. Like,
people that are more into dramas, and that's okay. But I still
yeah,
feel
it's
this
that's
is,
the whole. That's why I
apto
love it so
for
much. Is it's
everyone.
genuinely
Apto
for the whole family. Like, it's a show you can watch with your parents and your younger sibling, and
for any age, any
well,
gender, any
this has been
everything.
boyfriend
Love
material.
it.
That is Emily. I am Gabby, and you should follow us on social media. Emily doesn't want followers; she's lame. I do. So you can follow me at Hey Gabby
I
Mendez,
am
and you can follow the
lame.
both of us at what's her Instagram bestie? I forgot. Oh, BF Material Pod. It's BF Material
Oh, you
Pod.
can follow. Yes,
Yes, you
and
can
you can
follow her small
follow
business
me on
account.
my small business
Rosa
account.
Terra. We're putting the names here and on the show notes.
Yeah,
And we're stoked to be doing this. So if you have any suggestions for episodes, send us a DM. You can follow us on TikTok. Leave it on the comments down below.
or
The
leave
doobly doo. So,
in the comment.
do you remember when YouTubers used to say doobly doo?
Yeah, I've always wanted to say,
That's
like
it.
and
Bye.
subscribe. Bye.